Daniel Andrews has been under constant criticism over his running of the Victorian government. Everything from COVID, lockdowns, destruction of the economy, politicising Victoria's public service and the Victoria Police, and the rules surrounding political donations and advertising. Allegations of corruption and cronyism are running rampant, and it seems there's no end to how far Labor will stoop to ensure it retains office. If claims by the independent candidate for Nepean, Cheryl Ainsley, are true, that a marketing letter disguised as community engagement survey with a $5 enticement is being used to flip Victorian voters. Miss Ainsley's elderly father, who was a recipient of the letter, believes Labor is deliberately breaking the very laws that it put in place. Join us to discuss what Miss Ainsley believes to be a breaching of the Victorian Electoral Commission guidelines is the independent candidate for Nepean, Cheryl Ainsley, and of course, the independent candidate for Mulgrave, Ian Cook. Welcome, Cheryl and Ian.
Hello, Michael.
Now, Cheryl, you're alleging that Labor appears to be knowingly breaking the very laws that it put in place. How did you discover the scam?
Well, Michael, to be honest, I discovered it a little bit by chance. This letter was sent to my dad and he opened it up and it's got community engagement at the top, and he read it and he said, I'm not doing this, and he gave it to me, mostly because I'm running as an independent, and so he thought I'd be interested in it. And what happened is when I clicked on the survey link within the letter and started the survey, I was just blown away. I could not believe what I was seeing.
What specifically, Cheryl?
Well, a couple of things. So when you go into the survey was clearly biased towards the Labor Party. There were some questions in there that even it said, if you know, who are you going to vote for? And if you didn't select the Labor Party, it said, well, something along the lines of, how can we change your mind? But the biggest part was when you get through the survey, they then ask you to watch an embedded video, which is within the survey. And in my opinion, and I think pretty much everyone's opinion, it is clearly an ad. It says how wonderful Andrews is and his government, and it slams Matthew Guys as the cuts guy. So I saw this video and I thought, okay, this is an ad. And then I thought, where's the authorization? Like, I'm running as an independent. I'm aware that I have to put authorization on my material, and there was no authorization. So then I started snooping and I was like, who's running this survey? I investigated, couldn't find a link to privacy, like who's storing the data, how are they collecting the data? Nothing. It was so sophisticated, this survey, that you really couldn't identify who was actually trying to get you to complete it.
Oh. Now, Ian.
Michael.
Yep.
Yeah, well, she's absolutely right that any political content, and if it isn't, if it wasn't directly the Labor Party, in other words, that authorised it, then it has to be whoever owns the sites or owns that electronic data has to disclose who they are and where and what their address is. There's no way around that. And given that the content is clearly political, then it fits under the rules. I mean, this is just another example of either Labor or Labor affiliates, third-party affiliates, not following the rules. You know, we've discussed this before. This whole new set of rules around independence and electoral and the Electoral Act is like I think I've said to you before, Michael, it's like having a game of soccer where one team's allowed to use their hands and the other team has to follow the rules of only using their feet.
Yeah. Cheryl, do we have any way of knowing whether this has come out of Labor coffers or whether it's taxpayers' dollars? We've seen before that the Auditor General has found that Andrews has spent taxpayers' money on political advertising. Are we any closer to knowing where that's come from?
Look, my understanding, I've been working with the Herald Sun on this story for a few weeks now, and my understanding is the Labor Party aren't denying it. They're admitting that it was them. Whether or not it was taxpayer money, well, I don't have any proof of that, but let's just look back. They've got form of using money inappropriate. Let's just look at the red shirt. So there's definitely form, and that's their style. So it wouldn't surprise me, but can I confirm that? I can't at this stage.
Now, Ian, you know all too well, it seems that under Labor, as we've just discussed, it's one rule for them and bugger everyone else. That's definitely how it appears here, isn't it?
You did not even appearance. It is. This is what has happened here. And they do need to get to the bottom of it. And by the way, the VEC should be in their offices today asking hard questions and making that available to the public. Because I can assure you, Michael, if it was any independent doing something like this, assuming you could raise the money to do it, but any independent doing this, they would be in your office, in your face instantly.
And
I think Ian makes a really good point there. If they could raise the money for this. So I just want to, if you don't mind, just highlight how much money this would cost. So everyone that completed the survey was given an incentive of a $5 gift card. So let's say you completed that and this was sent to thousands of people. That's thousands of people by $5. But then you've got the postage, you've got the actual sophistication behind this website would not have been cheap. So this is not a mistake. This is, in my opinion, a deliberate attempt to circumvent the rules.
Or just break them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will state again for the viewers that all three of us in this interview are independent candidates. Sherelle is independent for Nepean, I'm independent for Eureka, and Ian is independent for Mulgrave. So, you know, we're up clear, we're front. All statements are authorised by us, so we're in the clear. That $5 incentive to watch Labor government propaganda is pretty much how we could describe it, Sherelle. That's just wrong on so many levels. Do you think this will do any more harm to Labor's credibility and integrity, or is it just going to be another log on the fire where people are just going, you know what, too much?
Look, I think Daniel Andrews doesn't seem to care about Victorians. All he cares about is himself. So I think there's just so much piling up, whether it's the red shirts, whether it's, you know, Sludgate with Ian Cook, whether it's, you know, all of the corruption that's happening. My gut feeling is this could be the nail in the coffin. You know, this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back, because he cannot deny it. They're owning it. They're saying they did it. And from what I understand, at least everyone that's watched the video, if not every letter that was sent out, could be subject to a fine. So that's big bucks, you know, on that side, but also the publicity that this is getting. Really, I hope the Victorian voters are looking and seeing that this guy's no good.
I think, yeah, I second it. I also think, Michael, that everybody who watches this interview should share it, and share it again, because the way we get our message out, given that the media, I mean, the Herald Sun try very hard, but the rest of the media tend to go a bit soft on Andrews for whatever reason. So we rely on these sorts of podcasts to get the message out, and to get the message out about the corruption that we're experiencing, and to know that it will only get worse. If this guy gets re-elected, it'll be more of the same, and he will double down. And God knows where we'll end up in another 4 years.
Yeah, and as I've stated before, integrity has to be the very cornerstone, regardless of party, ideology, agenda. It must be done with integrity. So whether it's Sherelle, whether it's yourself, Ian, or whether it's myself, all as independents, we must be able to stand and say, hand on heart, I'm being integrous and honest in my dealings and following the rules. Because if you're going to accept it from your party, then you must accept it from the other parties as well. And we don't ever want to get to that, surely.
No, definitely not.
Think,
I was going to say that I've been talking to a lot of people in my electorate, and it is clear that people are sick and tired of the lies, of the, you know, the malicious intent of some of these things. And so I think that people are ready for the change. They're ready. So we saw it at the federal election. People are moving away from the majors, and I think this is just another example of a reason why people will at this coming election.
Yep. All right, we're going to leave it there. But Sherelle, thank your father for us. He's obviously raised an astute daughter. The apple hasn't fallen far from the tree. Good luck with the campaign in Nepean, and same with you, Ian. Good luck and healthy campaigning through Mulgrave. And I'll look forward to the outcome on November 27th. Hopefully we can wake up with a newly shaped Victoria with a bit brighter future.
Thank you, and good luck to you as well.
Thank you.
No, that's right. And good luck to you too.